It's Luminosity coming at you from my rooftop in the Ecuadorian Amazon. We're going to talk about up and coming cryptocurrency that I think has a tremendous community around it. It's for a really good cause. It's something very near and dear to my heart. Cannabis and its capacity to treat pain in place of opiate painkillers. I just lost a very close friend this morning to heroin. I just found out. So, this is an epidemic that, at least in part can be curtailed with medical cannabis. And I think that's a big part of the reason that Reese has created this coin and his motivation for making the 420 coin. So you want to tell me a little bit about how you got into cryptocurrency and a little bit about your project?
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, I'll just introduce myself again. My name's Reese Little, CEO of 420 Coin LLC. I got into cryptocurrencies back in 2017 when a friend of mine just kind of introduced me to it. He said, hey, this is it's an up and coming thing. I think you can kind of check it out. And ever since then, I've been working closely with him to, build up my knowledge on cryptocurrency, kind of understand why there's a use case for it, why there's a lot of potential for growth. And quite recently is when I really decided that I wanted to create my own cryptocurrency. I wanted to get involved myself. So the inspiration for the project was actually not something very positive. My friend, or one of my friends from high school, who I've known for at least 5 years now, was injured in a tragic skiing accident. And that accident has left him paralyzed from the neck down. It's obviously been really tough on him. And I've been able to follow up with him through the phone, just kind of asking how he's doing, what's been going on in the hospital. And what he's told me is that they have him on a fentanyl packet 24 hours of the day, and they're slowly administering him. I'm not sure the exact dosage, but they're using that to help him with some of his pain. He also told me that at nighttime, to help with falling asleep, they give him Xanax. And obviously, Xanax was something that he struggled with before he ended up getting in this injury. So, him being forced to be putting on that drug is just not good. And so basically what he's told me is, Reese, I've asked for medicinal cannabis. I've requested it, because I smoked before I got in this injury, and, it helped me a lot with my anxiety. And now at this point in my life, I'm more anxious than I've ever been, obviously. And he's requested medicinal cannabis from 3 different doctors, and all 3 of them have rejected his request. And the typical response, there's 2 responses that he's been given. One is, Anthony, because marijuana is illegal at a federal level, I'm not comfortable administering you this drug. And the other response is, Anthony, since there's not enough research done on medicinal marijuana, I'm just not comfortable giving you this drug. Right. So
where it's illegal, or are these doctors just afraid of the federal consequences? Do you know?
Yeah, so it's both, right? I believe that I think there is some way to get around it, but the majority of the reason is, and I think there is, it is illegal to administer it, at least in certain states. But I'm in New Jersey, where marijuana actually is allowed recreationally now. But still, there is some kind of legal issue behind giving it, and I think you have to have like certain qualifications to be able to administer it. But then it also comes down to just the doctor's preference, right? Even if they are able to legally, do they feel comfortable? Do they feel like there's been enough research? And like I said, that's been a problem, to date. So, that's kind of where I got the inspiration for the project. Like I said, I've been involved in cryptocurrencies for a few years now, 4 years in total. And I wanted to create a way where we could use blockchain technology to help raise money for cannabis research, so that people like Anthony and millions of people across not only the country, but across the world can get the help that they need. So what we've been able to do is we've actually created this coin in a way where we offer investors the opportunity to maximize returns on their investment, but also be able to guarantee that they're giving back to a good cause. And that's unique to blockchain technology. I'm sure at least we can't think of another opportunity in the world, in any stock or anything like that, where you can invest in something but also be giving back to a good cause, right? Usually when you're investing in something, You're just investing in it to be able to eventually sell it later for a higher price, or just, to collect dividends over time. But we used the tokenomics in a way where we have liquidity goals, and when those liquidity goals are met, we automatically liquidate 2.5% of that goal and donate it directly to a cannabis research foundation. So, you can read up further about this in our tokenomics, but we've hit our first goal, which was $50,000 in liquidity. So we are taking and delivering, actually this Sunday, $1,250 to a cannabis research foundation. The next goal is 100,000. Then it's 200,000, then 400,000, then 800,000. And once we get to 800,000, phase 3 will begin, which will mean that every time our liquidity goes up by 420,000, which goes with our name, we will donate 2.5% of that, which is actually $30,500 donated to cannabis research at a time. So, you could read out more about this in our white paper. You can find it on our website, but that's how we've designed it in order for us to be able to give back. And we just see it as a way for, to be able to encourage people to buy the coin, right? Because, at the end of the day, we have a GoFundMe set up for people like Anthony, and one directly for Anthony. And while that does raise, a sizable amount of money, I think we got over $60,000 for him. He'll need millions of dollars in order to be able to treat, the situation that he's in right now. And so we see this as an opportunity to get more money, for him and for people like him. So that's a little bit of backstory about me and about the coin.
Yeah, that's really it's a really great. I'm always telling people that if they're going to invest, that projects that people really have their hearts into and that people really believe in, particularly in the crypto space, where a lot of shit coins are just there to be used and abused, and then after the first pump, they're just discarded. Nobody ever thinks about them again. You get like one good run, and it's super sketchy because as soon as people start dumping, if you don't get out, then you're toast. And so I think that projects like yours, where there's actually a purpose and people really care about it. I've noticed one of the reasons I contact you actually is that I noticed that your community is really strong, that people really believe in the token, that they're getting involved because they believe in the cause. And I think that, in this really oversaturated market space, that is like one of the fundamental things that you have to watch out for. And as you're saying, it's absolutely phenomenal that there is a way to generate money so rapidly. I mean, the figures that are involved with cryptocurrency are staggering. I sit around and watch charts all day, every day, and I see the buys and sells rolling in something like SafeMoon, and it's just absolutely incredible. And when you have a project that's giving 2% or 5% or whatever it is to a cause that you really care about, and then you look at the size of the numbers that are involved, you realize that you're really making an impact, and that is really going to get people invested. And so, yeah, it's a really great thing. I hope that you guys will put some of that donation money towards federal legalization, because as you were saying, even in states where there are medical marijuana laws, the doctors oftentimes, even if they believe in medical marijuana, will be afraid to prescribe it or to even advocate for it, because they can have their licenses taken away or they can be put in jail. And this has actually happened to a number of doctors. Of course, they've backed off quite a bit over the years, but it's still, obviously, in the case of your friend, it's a big concern. And they're so quick to prescribe. For those of you that don't know, fentanyl is an opiate or an opioid painkiller that is measured in micrograms like LSD. It is super, super, super powerful and extremely addictive. That one and Suboxone, which is actually given to people to get off. A lot of rehabs will come, or if you go to the rehabs, they will tell you to go back out on the street and get addicted to heroin for a few weeks so that they can have an easier time getting you off of the pharmaceutical drugs that you have been prescribed. So these things are absolutely terrible. And the Xanax you mentioned as well, they're prescribing so much Xanax, which basically turns people into mindless, soulless zombies. It's one of the only drugs that exists, alcohol being the other, that the withdrawal can kill you. And they're prescribing so much of it that the oceans are testing positive for benzodiazepines, which is the class of drugs that Xanax is classified under. So it is absolutely marijuana. Anything we can do to alleviate the impact of all of these negative pharmaceutical drugs. And I mean, in my opinion, you're not free if you can't decide what goes in and out of your body. Your sovereignty as a human being, in my opinion, as a divine being, your sovereignty starts with your ability to decide what goes in your body or not. And so, I think this is a huge issue. I think it's a super worthy cause. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And, also, I think that providing an opportunity, as you were saying, for people to empower themselves while empowering societal causes or environmental causes. In my case, I'm working on putting together ayahuasca coin, which is sort of the same thing. We want to benefit the indigenous people here in the Amazon because the Chinese miners are coming through and destroying the Amazon. They're throwing the indigenous people out of their communities with only 3 hours notice and bulldozing them to the ground. And the only way to stop them is by generating money. And I think the only way to generate the money quickly enough is through cryptocurrency. So this is a tremendously powerful opportunity. And, Reese, I know I've watched the community build around your coin over the last week or so. You guys have experienced a tremendous amount of growth. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we just clocked in another 25 holders just yesterday, which brings us to 225. I believe we're going to hit week 2 tomorrow. So we're at 225 holders in 2 weeks. We had a market capitalization of $1 million in our first week and came down a little bit since then. I think we're at 600,000. But, super excited about the future. First donation going in on Sunday. Like you said, kind of going off what you were saying earlier about kind of why we're different than what they typically call a shit coin, is that with shit coins, the owners are usually anonymous, or basically 99% of the time they're anonymous. And the reason this is because they're able to do what's called a rug pull, right? Just liquidate the money, get out of the coin and run away without anyone ever being able to track them, right? So what we've been able to do to kind of give investors, just the encouragement to buy in. Why should we trust you, right? Well, we've done a few things. We've filed for the LLC, and now we're officially a registered company. The IRS, SEC has us down, right? So we're tracked now. We have a trademark pending on our name. And finally, I've listed my name. Know exactly who I am. So it is basically impossible for us to go in, for example, rug pull, and to even further, make it a kind of a safer guarantee that, we're not just some scam coin. We've locked 25% of liquidity up to date, making it, no matter what we do, even if we were to break the law, it is impossible to do so now that we've locked it that way. So we're eventually going to bump this number up to 75% once we raise a little bit extra capital, because it does cost a decent amount to have that locked. But once we do, that'll be following suit.
And you guys have audits scheduled and the roadmap and all of that on your website?
So we don't have a roadmap update. I'm actually going to be working on the website later today, but we do have, our mission, what inspired us, kind of everything I've told you here today. What we have been telling investors in the Discord so far is that we have been in contact with a larger exchange. For us, what we've realized is we need to continue our growth. We need to get, listed on platforms that'll show our price, like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, right? There are people that are just waiting for coins to be listed on there, because as soon as they are, they're just going to buy it up, because, that kind of shows that the project is trustworthy automatically. So, we've already applied to those places, and then we want to get on an exchange that's a little bit easier for people to buy. We want people to be able to log on to an exchange, type in our name, and just be able to buy it instantly with just US Tether, for example. And so that's what we're working on right now. But in terms of our roadmap, I think by the end of today, we should have a slide out, or at least part of the website, that'll be able to show you kind of exactly that, what dates we should have certain things done by.
And so what do you think about this dip, Reese? Is it market manipulation? Is it scaring you at all? Or are you guys just buying the dip, or what is your take on all of this?
And do you mean just cryptocurrencies as a whole, or our coin?
Well, I don't know if did you guys experience a dip with the rest of the market, or have you maintained your
Yeah.
momentum. Yeah.
Well, we didn't really originally when the market was crashing. We actually had zero sells locked in for the night. That I think Bitcoin went down 20%. Like I said, we have 227 hold or 227 now. At the time, we had 200. So the people that are locked in, they're in it for the long run. So we haven't been experiencing any rapid volatility of people just getting out when cryptos are going down. I guess quite recently we've kind of been, while new buyers are coming in, some of our earlier investors have been selling out and taking profits because, to date, we're up over 10,000% since launch. So there are people I know that have put in $225 into our coin at the very beginning that have now sold out for $20,000, right? And I mean, while I understand, obviously I wish that they would stay around because obviously, with them selling, the price goes down a little bit. But basically at the end of the day, that's completely healthy for us. We want to basically kind of start to get rid of people with a larger amount so that there's less volatility in the market. There's less people we have to worry about, selling larger amounts, millions of our coin. So we've just basically, I guess it's been kind of the last 7 days, we've stuck around the 1 cent range. We got as high as I think 2.5 cents. And when we hit that number, one of our original whales who invested, I think on the first day, sold out his entire position for, I think he got $25,000 for like a $500 original investment. And it brought us down to 1 cent, and we kind of went back up to 1.5. Someone else sold, went back to 1.3, someone else sold, and now we're kind of hitting around the 1 cent range, just waiting to break out, but we've just kind of been, I guess the word is consolidating for the last 10 days.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of positive momentum for you guys. I see a lot of people that I've been in your Telegram. I know a lot of people feel really good about it. And, you're talking about this volatility that's scaring the hell out of everybody right now. I really think these projects that people can believe in that are aligned with a cause that's important to people, I think that's a really good hedge against volatility. So I commend you for your work, man. I know you're probably really busy. I don't want to keep you too long. Is there anything else that you would like to offer before we wrap it up, or?
Well, I just want to say that, I appreciate everyone that's been listening today. If you ever have any questions, I mean, will you be leaving kind of a link to our website in the description of the video?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check out our website. We have our socials listed on the website. You can message me directly. I respond to, anybody that's interested in learning more. So, I'm excited for you guys to check us out. And thanks so much for having me on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So do me a favor and hit the like button, share, subscribe, support us on Patreon, where I will drop daily hints, weekly hints, depending on your tier. We also talk about stocks on the Conscious Crypto channel. I also want to mention that this is going to be the first crypto video this is going to be the first video at all, actually, on the Conscious Crypto and Investing channel. And it's going to be the last cryptocurrency on my main channel. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.